Boom. Okay.
Can they see that? Can they hear the audio?
They will not be able to see or hear that. I can't. I could do that. I can't do that through Riverside, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna watch it. Y'all are gonna look at us go completely
Nuts.
mad. Y'all have to go watch it later because this just posted 45 seconds ago.
All right, guys. So
we're looking at the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer before we actually get into the episode.
Yeah, so
we're nerds.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, guys, this is Jacob. This is Drew.
Yeah,
we're Cellcast. So we're gonna do something very interesting right now
and unfortunately we cannot stream this to y'all because of our setup.
Yeah,
I am so sorry.
Since
we're set up for an episode and not a normal stream, we have to do it this way.
Yeah. So if you want to go see what we're going to see now, Spider-Man No Way Home, the official trailer.
It's on the Sony Pictures Entertainment channel.
Yeah. So go check.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sony Pictures Entertainment had it.
Yeah. So we're going to do a
quick reaction.
Quick reaction to it. A live reaction to it.
Yeah.
All right. So can we...
I'm about to hit the button if you're ready to hit the button.
All right. So, yeah.
I have no idea who's following us, watching us right now, but you'll see this on the rewatch at least.
Yep.
So let's do it.
Oh.
Why did they put that in that part?
Okay. Wow. Pumpkin bomb!
Oh my!
Yes, Goblin! Gubby's here!
It's the right Goblin!
That was Electro!
No, that's Doc Ock.
Yeah, that's Doc Ock there. Oh my gosh, yes!
I'm sorry, what was your name again? Dr. Otto What's your actual name?
Oh, dude, this is exciting. Electro?
No, this is kind of your mess. I know a couple of magic words myself, starting with the word please.
Nice.
What do you mean? Yeah, me too.
Oh, Peter, what? But yeah, Electro.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm excited. Gubby!
Is that whose voice I think it is?
Yes, it was! Oh, heck yeah! Oh, heck yeah! Yes!
And Lizard!
Yeah, Lizard! Whew, okay.
Hang on.
I'm not...
December 17th, exclusively at movie theaters. Tickets on sale November 29th. Spider Monday.
Spider Monday?
Yes!
Happy birthday to me.
Oh, that was good. That was so good. Oh my gosh.
Hi, Stacy Wendell. We are just reacting very quickly to the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. Literally just dropped.
Oh my gosh.
And we are about to jump into our review and the recording of our episode 4, Princess Mononoke. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was amazing.
That was awesome.
Yes. It's like, but where are the other Spider-Men?
Maybe they're not in this.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Have you watched all the Marvel movies that have come out this year?
No, I haven't.
Which ones have you not watched?
Eternals, I have not watched.
Okay.
Shang-Chi, I haven't watched that.
Okay.
And-
So far, you're still fine.
And what's the other ones come out?
Well, you had Captain. You had Black Widow earlier this year.
Yeah, watched
You
that.
had Venom that came out a couple months ago.
Haven't watched that yet.
That's one you might want to before that. Just saying.
Okay.
Just
Gotcha.
saying.
Something about the after credit trailers.
I'm not saying
No
a
word.
word.
I got you.
Anyway.
Anyways. Oh my gosh.
Hang on.
Now I'm hyped. This was a lot of fun doing this. Good idea, by the way.
Thank you. Hey, Josh, you just missed it.
Yeah.
Jacob and I just reacted to the new Spider-Man No Way Home trailer that literally just dropped.
Literally.
You might want to go check that out.
Yeah.
Because we kind of were geeking out.
Just a little bit.
A touch.
Yeah, characters popped up. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, they're there.
Right.
All right, good deal.
Replying to something else.
Ah.
Anyway. How's your notes coming along?
My notes are going pretty good. I'm just trying to, I'm like, eek. And at the same time, it's like, okay, focus. And me focusing is the hardest thing on the planet sometimes.
Focus. Breathe.
I'm just trying to find all the notes all the information for the new stuff coming out from Disney Plus.
Well, if you go check our Facebook page,
That is true.
I did post every share that that Disney did that was animated.
That is true.
So yeah,
Go there.
that's a help.
Maybe. Eek. I was going to say that. Oh my gosh.
Here comes the train. Maybe there's an octopus on it.
It might bring along some of his friends, maybe, from different universes.
This is Groot, Stacy. Wearing the headphones here. Mm-hmm. All he says is, I am Groot. I am Groot. Wearing the headphones here. I am Groot. Groot I am.
Groot, I am. Yep. Zombies.
That looks good. Of course, I have nothing to base this on.
Right.
Other than a logo, which is kind of annoying, but yeah, it's that early in development. Vin Diesel
Yeah.
plays Groot
Mm-hmm.
in every version of the films. He just keeps
Indeed.
As I mean, I guess there's once you say I am Groot. I mean, for Spanish, you would say yo soy Gruto. Maybe not Gruto. That's wrong. Yo soy Groot. Mi nombre es Groot. I don't know much other languages.
Yeah, apparently I posted a little bit later after you.
Ah.
So we posted the exact same thing, except a few, like, there's a few different things. I saw the X-Men 97, and I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta post that.
Right. And then you didn't bother to look and see that I had posted that.
No, I didn't. In my excitement, I didn't think about it.
Right.
So yeah, our fans got double dosing of.
Surely when you went to reshare it, it noted I had already shared the same article. So maybe it combined them?
Maybe.
Sometimes? Maybe? I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know how Facebook works. I just do it and it kind of works.
Yeah.
If there's one thing you can definitely say about me when it comes to social media is I don't know what the crud I'm doing. I just barely get Facebook Live to work, along with Twitch and YouTube.
Right.
You can find us everywhere. Well, not everywhere.
Yeah.
A lot of places.
Yeah. A lot of places. All right. All right, guys. So,
I'm just waiting on you, buddy.
all right. I'm ready.
I'm actually trying to think of a pun right now.
I've been thinking about that for the last hour and a half.
It should be easy for me to come up with a pun with you, considering there's
Wolves.
3 wolves
Yeah.
and a wolf girl.
Yeah. Pretty much. Let me think.
Oh, I already got one now.
Oh,
Now that
okay.
I've said something.
Yeah.
Now that I've said something, it's like,
Yes.
oh, it's obvious.
Funny enough, at work today, because like the very end of my shift, I just hear this loud dog bark. It's like an actual dog.
Right.
It's rough. There's a little dog, and it turns around and be like, "What in the world?" Like, okay, it wasn't Jacob.
Okay, and I just realized I need to add the intermission into the
Go for
clips tonight.
All
So
right.
give me just a second.
No problem.
I am not quite as ready as I was thinking I was, but I will be soon.
I got you. All right, guys. So we're watching.
Watching?
We're not watching. Reviewing. We just watched a trailer.
You're a
so
little-
my
and you're a
mindset's
little-
there for the moment.
I'm aware. I'm aware.
We are reviewing Studio Ghibli's Princess Mononoke. So
Mononoke Hime.
okay. So if you have
You
not
tell me
watched
to
it,
shut up.
shut your pothole.
Gomen no sai. Idakimasu. I don't know much other Japanese.
Wow. Okay. You know more than I do. All right.
Only because I actually sometimes will watch the subtitled stuff since I
Yeah.
can read and watch at the same time. I don't have the same issues you've got.
right.
So the common words I've heard enough, I know how to say them.
All right. So what did you say?
Gomen no sai
Yeah.
is a crud. Catch me! It's not a lie. It's just it's one of those things where you ask, or I knew what it was until you told me.
Exactly.
What did you just say?
Yes. All right, guys. So if you have not watched Princess Mononoke, you can go to HBO Max if you subscribe to HBO Max and go watch it there. And afterwards, come back and listen to us or watch us on YouTube or wherever you're watching this. Listen to whatever. And comment down below. If you have watched the movie, please comment down below.
I am
Where you're
sorry. I actually used it correctly. Gomen no sai is I am sorry.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Continue.
It's all good.
Gomen no sai. Continue. Yeah, oh, and I know Idakimasu does not technically have a exact translation into English, but it's something along the lines of thank you for the food.
Oh, okay.
But not exactly.
Okay, interesting. All right, so yeah, guys, comment down below if you've seen Princess Mononoke. I'm pretty sure most people have. If you are an animation fan, I know most people, if you talk Princess Mononoke, either they're going to love the film or they're going to hate it. Most people like it. So comment down below where you're streaming this right now, or if you're listening to the audio version later on, comment.
that's what I was looking
Yeah,
at.
comment down below where you are about how you like the film, what did you think about the film, and let us know so we can have a conversation about films and all that great stuff. And so, yeah, if you are streaming this right now, a few minutes ago, Sony Pictures just released the trailer for Spider-Man: No Way Home, the official big trailer, and we did a live reaction to it, even though you couldn't see the video. Yeah, that was amazing. So go watch it and let us know what you thought about Spider-Man: No Way Home.
We won't read it on the show
No,
because we're about to actually jump into it once I find the file that I can't find.
right.
Oh, I know where. There's an easier place to find this, Drew, than the way you're going. You just have to open up a fourth window to get there. Drive. Bad. Well, that's not helpful. Can you search by file type, please?
I don't know.
I'm not asking you if it can because I know it's possible. I'm trying to tell the machine to do it without me having to go in through and find it. Any audio search? That one will work. Download. Show in folder. Drag and drop. There we go. Now I'm ready. Josh says he loved it. And Stacy says, I'm going to cut this short. I got to go watch Priceless the movie. I've never heard of that.
Priceless. Never heard of it.
Have a good time, Stacy.
All right, good deal. Thanks for popping in. All right, good deal. So let's rock it.
He's not in this movie.
Yeah, that's true.
He was in 2 movies ago.
Rocket was?
Well,
Oh,
there
yeah,
were
that's true.
raccoons.
Yeah, there were raccoons. That's true.
Anyways. Oh, Jiminy Cricket's on a pogo stick. Okay. Doing a test of our Control M. I think that was a little loud for me and you.
Maybe a little bit.
That's better.
That works.
Awesome sauce. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Starting in. Hello and welcome to another episode of The Cellcast. Joining me today is a man who, he was raised by a pack of wolves. Not that that surprises anyone here. Welcome, Jacob.
Arroo! Arroo! What did you say?
Precisely.
Why, thank you. Let me use our co-host, a man who just was trying to kill a forest god. Welcome, Drew.
Well, you try and you fail.
Yeah.
Anyway, how are you doing tonight, Jacob?
Man, I'm doing very well. I just came back from a retreat. Thank you guys for if you prayed over that. Be amazing. That was amazing. Went with a bunch of single friends to a little place in Austin, and got to hike an amazing. I had a most amazing weekend. I got to go hang out with a bunch of single friends and some people I never met before. Go to the Austin area for a retreat, and we hiked a state forest and walked like 9.7 miles or hiked it, and that was incredible. I was dead tired for the day after, but other than that, it was great. Be like you stop in Buc-ee's like 3 or 4 times throughout the day because there's a Buc-ee's where this place was.
And because you're addicted.
I'm not addicted. People are. Other people are. It's just fun walking into Buc-ee's.
Whatever helps you sleep better at night, my friend.
Now, if Buc-ee's mascot was a dog, that'd be a different story. Mm-hmm. Either ways, doing pretty good. Work is, getting more of a pain in the neck because people keep deciding they don't want to come in that day.
No, tell us how you really feel about it.
It makes work a little more interesting because you're having to balance everything else, and it's always fun. It's frustrating, but it's at the end of the day, it's like, okay, I can do something else rather than what I do on my normal. So I think in a way it challenges me, even though it's not, most of the time it frustrates me. Other than that, I'm doing very well. What have you been up to? How are you doing?
I'm actually doing pretty good. I'm trying to do 3 things at once is my problem.
Juggling act.
I'm trying to look for the trivia question. from last time.
Oh,
Because I was going to do it near the beginning, so... and now I can't find... I'm finding every other post we've ever made, but the one I'm actually looking for.
you've lost a post. So come on, man.
Where is the search function in here? Or... why is this not on... Why do I only get this plus...
I don't know.
Okay. There's your drawing.
Mm-hmm.
There's Paul J. Powers' post that you shared.
Mm-hmm.
There's last week's episode. There's Lilo punching a redhead. There's some news.
A lot of news.
Getting past all the news. So that should take us to Friday. Boy, this is real exciting.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, another thing. You posted something about Dopey and Grumpy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's last week's stream. I don't know how, but I can't find it. If y'all can't find it, how am I supposed to? Okay,
Oh.
there's the other trivia time. Okay, finally, I'm here. I posted it on the wrong thing. That's why I couldn't find it. I posted it on mine, not the pages. Boy, I will do better this week.
Oh.
I swear. Okay, so I'm doing good, Jacob. I've had a pretty nice week. I've had a little bit of extra time and been making up some, taking care of some stuff for forward-looking things for the podcast that I don't want to get into right this second because
Okay.
I like things to be a surprise.
Gotcha.
But might be coming up in the middle of December. We'll see. Anyway,
Gotcha.
I haven't even told you what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Although you know part of it.
Maybe.
But anyway. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Before we jump into what we've been watching, last week's trivia question, posted to the wrong page.
Wonk, wonk, wonk.
I asked, who wrote the English language version of Princess Mononoke? What's your guess? Before I read the answers.
Oh, come on.
And it is credited. I saw his name in there.
Oh, okay.
I just gave you a hint. I said it was a he.
Yeah. For some reason, I keep thinking, what's his name? He did Kill Bill and all that.
Nope.
Good stuff.
It's not Quentin Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino. That's who I was thinking.
Not Tarantino.
Of. Okay. Then who?
We were on that in the trivia, actually.
Okay.
Neil Gaiman.
Neil Gaiman. That's right.
Was the writer of the English language version, which Josh Adams posted and got it correct for 10 points.
Ding.
He says, even though his name was removed for dumb reasons, on the G-Kids release, it is there. I saw it. So there you go. Jack Cornwall in answer to Josh says, you beat me to it. Well played. Josh says, it helps I knew exactly where he posted it. And then Ryan Ashley Wall says to Jack Cornwall, you disappointed me. Which Jack Cornwall posted a GIF that says, I'll do better, I promise. And then Jack says to Ryan, I'm not as good as Rachel on the phone. Much better on a computer, especially when killing James is the goal. Ha ha. That is actually a reference to Ryan Ashley Wall's Raw quiz show that is on the Pop Americana network that we're on.
Gotcha.
Along with, of course, the other network we're on. Culture Box.
Yes.
I don't want to have that bad a brain fart. Anyway, so yeah, was last week's. I will. Should I put the next trivia question on now, or wait till the end of the episode?
I probably wait till towards the end of the episode.
I'll say it at the end of the episode. So if you want to know what to answer for next time, Wait till the end of the episode. Anyway, Jacob, what have you been watching?
What have I not been watching?
What have you not been watching?
Well,
is that
it's-
an easier question? I know what you've not been watching. You've not watched Mandalorian Season 2.
True.
You've not watched The Eternals. We just talked about that.
Right.
You've probably not watched What If, because you're waiting on me to play catch-up. Am I right? And
What?
Because you don't quite have internet yet.
I'm working.
You're working on it.
I'm
Fair
working
enough.
on it. Yes, I'm working on it.
I'm not. This is not a dig. It's just like I know you don't have it yet, but I know it's coming.
Yes.
And I know you haven't watched. you haven't watched Loki yet, have you?
No, I haven't watched Loki yet.
It's a good thing you didn't see a shirt I bought.
Okay.
'Cause you wouldn't get the joke.
No, I wouldn't. Probably. I would probably get it because the internet's there. They tell you everything.
Yeah, but Gator Loki is a thing. That's all.
Yes, I know of later Gator Loki. All right. So, in the things I have watched. Okay. So, as most people know, I'm a huge fan of Tangled. I pretty much yearly will watch this film every once in a while. Still amazing film. I still love
every once in a while. Gotcha.
every once in a while. Probably every year, every half a year.
Just yanking your chain.
I know.
Continue.
Yuck.
Right. I'm over here.
Okay. It's called dyslexia, dude. Okay.
I had to cut that out of the audio either way, so.
Okay. All right, so I've watched Tangled. Really great film. If you have not watched it, what are you doing? Go watch the film. It's better than Frozen. Either way, fight me on it.
I'm not fighting you on a thing. I just
I know.
have things to talk about when we get to my section.
I know.
I have Disney Plus.
You have Disney Plus.
You knew I have Disney Plus.
I know I have Disney Plus as well. All right. So speaking of Tangled, I finished Tangled series or Rapunzel Single Adventure. I finished it this afternoon.
Because I'm slow.
No, it's no, because I was just like, oh my gosh, I gotta finish this. So
Because
season
I'm slow. It's my fault you haven't gotten finished with it yet.
All right, so I finished it. I finished season 2. Oh my gosh, amazing. There again, if you have watched it currently, please do not post anything on Cellcast's social media because we don't want anybody else to be spoiled, or definitely this guy being spoiled because I'm pretty sure he probably
I know some things because, like you said, the internet is a thing.
That is true.
And due to my research, I have run across a couple pictures, though I have no context.
Something about blue hair.
I just figured she got comfy with Hades during the connection with Kingdom Hearts 3. She picked up some of his fire. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's fan art. I know it.
Next week. This month's Patreon exclusive artwork. Cass and Hades.
Okay.
I should say
gosh.
me saying that is not mean in any way, shape, or form that the artwork that Jacob will actually get around to posting this month sometime. It will be Hades and Cass.
But it will be related to one of those characters. All right.
Are you telling me I shouldn't look at the artwork as I post?
No. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all.
Okay. Because that's gonna get awkward. Like,
It's gonna be related to.
Look at it,
It's gonna be related to the movie.
Hitting save.
It's going to be related to Tangled the movie, not Tangled the series.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So yeah, look forward to that if you are a Patreon subscriber.
Okay.
All right. So finished that. Season 3 is amazing. It's about reconnecting and making sure everything's back together. But it's really good. It's got great villain reveals and who you think the villain really isn't the villain. You find out like, oh, this is a villain. Oh crap. This is gonna get good.
I think I know who the villain is because we came across him in the research for one earlier season 1 episode.
Maybe.
At least a name.
Yeah, pretty sure. So yeah, I watched that, and yeah, definitely recommend it. There again, please do no spoilers in the social media if you have watched it. And then I stumbled across a Black Friday movie deals, and I bought quite a few movies. And I bought, what was the one that I didn't have? Like A Bug's Life. I didn't have that as part of the Disney collection, so now I do, or Disney Pixar movie.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, then I got what was it? So I picked up quite a few, and one of them was the trilogy of Bad Boys films. And I love the Bad Boys films. They're great.
Bad boys,
Exactly.
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do when they come for you? Either way, so yeah, I decided to watch Bad Boys 2 on Blu-ray, and I still love the film. I just have, it's the idea. It's like, okay, these are cops who are trying to bust the bad guys, but doing all the wrong things to do it. I was like, I would the entire time be like, that's against protocol, that's against procedure. Be like, you don't have a warrant for that. But either way,
What part of Bad Boys? What you want to do?
did I not pick up?
Yeah.
But either way, it's just like I still find it fun. It's Michael Bay is still a great director. He just likes to blow things up a lot and a lot of gunfights. So either way, that is all I've been watching. What about you, Drew?
Well, starting off with some stuff you aren't aware of.
Okay.
There is a show on Netflix. It is it is an anime, and right now it is still subtitle only, which right there is kind of strange for Netflix. But
Right.
there's one out there called, I think it's Comey Can't Communicate. I think is the name of it.
Comey Can't Communicate.
It's about this girl who has social anxiety.
Okay.
That has caused her not to be able to talk at all in public.
Okay.
But she wants to make 100 friends in high school.
Interesting.
Yeah, and technically we're following it from the point of view of this boy who he's just trying to be friendly, and of course falls in love with her because she's like the most beautiful girl in the school.
Of course.
Because that's how this works.
Mm-hmm.
And he happens to see her the first day of school because their shoe lockers are near each other. And he happens to be sitting next to her in class. And he's also now the most hated boy by all the other boys because he's sitting next to the cutest girl in the school.
Right.
And it's actually, so far, a very sweet story. I've only watched the one episode, but the shots of her when the anxiety kicks in and her eyes go wide is like the cutest thing ever.
Okay.
I don't know a better way to explain it than that. But there's a part of it where her eyes go wide. You're like, oh, that's the deer in the headlights look.
Mm-hmm.
And then she starts moving fast to get out of the situation. It's like, I know what you're doing. I've not technically faced that, but I know why you're doing that.
Okay.
But it's still cute. She's cute when she's doing that. But it's actually so far a good story. Interesting note. Apparently the school is full of weirdos.
Okay.
So it's going to be a lot harder than the guy thinks it is to help her get 99 more friends for her. But yeah,
Okay.
it's an interesting story so far, what I've seen. Also, because I have Disney Plus, I watched something that was released for Disney Plus Day.
What was that?
Olaf Presents.
Oh, okay. How was that?
Interesting.
Okay.
I especially liked the Tangled one where Olaf tried to replicate the smolder. And it doesn't work at all.
I think I saw a clip of that.
But then the one for the Lion King, because you remember how in Frozen 2 when he's doing it and he just stands off to the side and said, Anna's dead.
Yeah.
He's explaining Frozen 1.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he does that a couple other times anytime a character dies, so it becomes a running gag.
Right.
Well, he gets to Mufasa.
Oh, no.
He says, Mufasa's dead. Only he didn't die immediately. He first got trampled on by tons of wildebeests. And then and then tried to climb up out of the canyon only to be caught by Scar. That he didn't die then either. He got thrown. He got thrown off into the canyon, but he didn't die immediately as he had to fall a long distance. It's like, dude, stop! This is already a traumatic death scene. You're kind of making it worse. And it just as well as it keeps going to all of a sudden. You know how when something starts is dark, but the way they keep going and the way they're talking just kind of makes it funny.
Right.
That starts happening in this.
Oh my gosh.
But also the shots of he does a quick little cutaway to himself as Mufasa while the little snow dude guys, I don't remember their names.
Yeah.
Because I actually have not watched the short where they came out. But
Frozen Fever.
Yeah, and they're running over him like the wildebeest.
Oh my god!
And you're looking there going, you did not just do that. You did just do that, and that's the cutest thing. That's the cutest death I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, they did. Oh, and the Little Mermaid one is hilarious.
Okay, I definitely have to watch that.
So yeah, when you do get internet, that's one of the things you're gonna have. One of the first things you're probably gonna have to watch.
All right.
Also, I have watched. I watched the Simpsons Disney Plus anniversary thing.
Yeah.
It was bad. It wasn't funny.
Hmm.
It's one of those things where, yeah, I can see the cynicalness and the sarcasm in this. This is not that funny, although Cobra Bubbles does make an appearance.
Cobra Bubbles does?
Yeah. He's in Moe's Tavern when all this is going on.
Okay.
But anyway.
Mm.
And then there was one last show, and this might be bringing us into the news a little bit, because due to one of the news items that released Friday for Disney Plus Day, I went back to an old favorite show of mine that I've not seen in nearly 30 years.
Yeah.
Boom 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 bum 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 bum. I went back and started watching through X-Men 92, as I'm going to call it, to separate it from X-Men 97.
Yes.
Which is what they're calling the new one. And I absolutely am in love with it, despite the fact of how bad the animation is. Oh, Saban did this show. Saban did a very good job with the show, but they made it as cheaply as they could get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still some weirdness. Like, you look at it, go, you spent a little bit of that money on that animation.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit.
A little
I
bit.
can see a little bit of animation. It's a little bit better than some of this other stuff I've seen from this time period, but not quite.
Right. Right.
But what I realized is when I watched the show as a child, like most shows that we watched as children, I think, you only watched it when you got home in time to watch it. So you just kind of just jumped around and skipped around all the different episodes. I didn't realize it was serialized.
Okay.
I am in episode 5.
Yeah.
And each episode has led into the next one. I thought maybe the first 2 were just, since they were a part 1 and a part 2.
Yeah.
That was just a 2-parter, and then starting from there, they do an adventure, a story. Like, most superhero shows kind of do.
You're right.
Every single episode is this whole thing is serialized, isn't it? I'm glad I'm starting from the beginning, because if I tried to start somewhere in the middle, I would be lost as a goose in a feather pillow factory. And then episode 5, Sabretooth has snuck. I wouldn't say snuck away, but due to the plans of Magneto, the X-Men brought him into the mansion because they thought there was actually because he was hurt. And they don't know his connection to. They know him and Wolverine have a connection because Wolverine wants to get rid of him. But of course, I, as someone who has kept up with at least some of the X-Men knowledge, Marvel Comics knowledge, I know things. Like
Okay.
Sabretooth and Wolverine's backstory.
Yeah.
How they're connected.
Yeah.
So when Professor X, I said Dr. X, but Professor X is using his telepathy to get into Sabretooth's mind to help calm him of his rages, as they call it.
Yeah.
You start seeing pictures of characters who, if you
Oh, yeah.
don't know who they are outside of the shot of Wolverine, you wouldn't know what they are. But you see what I will later. What I know as later is Lady Deathstrike.
Mm-hmm.
It is the those look like the version of her from later on in the show.
Mm-hmm.
A couple other characters, and then Deadpool.
Yeah.
And I know Deadpool is part of the Weapon X program. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I did not realize he had existed before this show came out.
Uh-huh.
I thought he was a mid-90s creation.
No.
Oh, man. But no, he's actually... This had to have been fairly close to when Rob Liefeld created him for New Mutants.
It was fairly
and wrote
close.
His backstory. And he's actually like the first of these people. It's the first shot of them seeing this is Deadpool and Wolverine sans mask, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But Deadpool's in the mask because you can't draw that face.
No.
Plus, I don't think that face had been revealed at that point.
No.
But I'm like, I'm just sitting there watching, and the epic theme song is ending. I read the name of the episode and look and go, "That's Deadpool." Wait, when did the show come out? 92? Deadpool was around in 92?
Uh-huh. He's been around that long.
This is awesome. Okay. Is he going to show up in the show? I don't think so. I think this might be the only time because I swear I would remember Deadpool. I mean, I know he wasn't the Deadpool
That we know
that
now.
we know now. He was much more of a serious character.
Yeah, it was more like just
at
an
this
assassin.
time.
Yeah.
But it's like, I wonder if he's going to show up. And when he shows up in 97, because there's no way he's not showing up in X-Men 97 now.
Mhm. Oh,
I
yeah.
realized, I knew this going into it.
Oh, yeah.
Are they going to go with the more 90s-esque Deadpool where he's semi-serious? Or are they going to go at least something around, I'm going to hope, Volume 4 where he was still funny to me? I don't know. It's just, it was that weird epicness. I'm looking and going, is that Deadpool? That's Deadpool. What's he doing here? He's not made yet. Oh, yeah, he has made. He was like 89.
89,
or something
90.
like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a weird little geek out moment this afternoon.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I've been watching.
All right.
So since I kind of gave you a nice little lead in to the news, what do we got in the news?
All right. So we got in the news. Before we get into the Disney Plus Day information that dropped on Friday, I believe.
Yes, it was Friday because
All right.
you were on the road.
Yes, I was on the road.
Which is why we ended up posting the news twice.
Exactly. I stopped in Buc-ee's, and then I see all this news. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to post this. And then not realizing this guy already posted
it an hour earlier.
Yeah, you did. So either way. So,
I never post news. Because Jacob is technically in charge of our social media.
Right.
But I knew you were busy. So I was trying to fill in.
Which I appreciate.
Fortunately, you didn't see I filled in for you.
No, I didn't. So you got a double dosing of news on that day. So either way, before I get into that, just learned that Shout Factory and Machine Media Advisor announced a new entertainment distribution deal with the beloved animated feature Ferngully, the last rainforest, ahead of its 30th anniversary. I know Drew has thoughts on this movie.
I've only seen half hour of this movie.
What?
I've only seen a half hour of Ferngully.
Wow, we're gonna change that.
I know. This is one of the ones we brought up when we first were talking about
Agreed.
the podcast.
Agreed.
So I know it's coming.
Yeah, it will come.
That was never in doubt.
That is true. All right, so and ahead of its 30th anniversary, as announced is made, Shop Factory. So Shop Factory will be re-releasing Ferngully, The Last Rainforest, and so yeah, look forward to that. Really get information later on to when it was going to be released, but it's being released through Shop Factory. So yeah, look forward to that if you are a big fan of Ferngully, The Last Rainforest. All right, so going into further news, what we referred to earlier, what dropped on Disney Plus Day. All right, so starting off, The second season of Marvel Studios' What If animated original animated series is coming to Disney Plus. That should be okay. We got that, and then we have Marvel Zombies coming to Disney Plus. We have I Am Groot, which is an animated original series, also coming to Disney Plus. Kind of tying back into what we were doing pre-show. Marvel Studios Spider-Man Freshman Year, an animated original series coming soon to Disney Plus. And then what this guy was geeking about earlier, the Marvel Studios is going in and making all new episodes of X-Men 97, which I think it's coming out in 2022, 23.
Yes, which gives me plenty of time to get through all 5 seasons of X-Men 93.
Yes.
The theme song's back.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly.
And the character designs are out too, though I haven't posted them to the page yet, but they look awesome.
Cool. Wait, they've already put up the designs?
Yes, they've actually, someone posted the character designs.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we know they're the actual character designs because the person was saying, I'm proud to say it's me.
I'm not surprised. To be like, if you had that opportunity to design the X-Men uniforms or X-Men from 93, 92, and for this new series, yes, thank you.
I'm trying to bring it up.
Okay.
Of course, I still love how they announce it with the meme.
Oh, yeah.
There's no reason they had to use the meme, but I love that they did. Thank you, Reddit, for letting me get to this faster. So a lie, if I can find the pictures. I thought it was going right.
He's currently on Reddit.
Silly Reddit.
Tricks are for kids.
Well, you stupid thing, not showing me what I want to see.
Well,
you can see Beast and Storm there, but that doesn't really tell you anything. I'll find it later.
All right. So, yes, if you are a fan of the original Fox Kids X-Men the Animated Series came out in the early 90s. It's coming back in 2022, 2023 on Disney Plus. So get excited about that because I grew up watching that show, loved it. Obviously, Drew did as well.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, get ready to get onto an epic theme song again because they're bringing back the theme song.
And I want it played by an actual rock band.
Indeed.
Instead of the MIDI we got, even though the MIDI is rocking too.
Agreed. I remember as a kid loving that theme song so much because we timed it just right because we turned the TV on, put a recorder on top of the television, and recorded the audio to it. So then we just play the audio anytime you wanted.
Right. Okay, so live reaction to the character art because I got it up.
Okay.
There's Cyclops.
Okay. Got it.
Jean Grey.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Storm.
Nice.
Wolverine.
Wow. Okay. That's cool.
Professor X.
Professor X, like Professor X.
Rogue.
Wow.
Gambit.
Okay, Gambit. Jubilee.
Yeah.
Nice. Psylocke. Nice.
I forgot that. I've looked at this thing 2 or 3 times. I couldn't remember that. That's Psylocke.
Okay.
And then
Nightcrawler.
Beast. And that's all of them.
Nice. Very, very nice.
Yes.
And it looks like that was on Twitter.
I was on Facebook.
I was on Facebook.
You know, I should share that.
Yes, if you would.
To our thing, so other people can go and look at this as well.
Exactly.
Now I gotta go find it again.
All right. So, with that said, let me go through a little more. Apparently, Tiana is getting a first look concept, long-term musical series, directed and is coming to Disney Plus in 2023. The series follows the crowned princess of, I'm going to butcher this name, Manoa, the new adventures, but her New Orleans past is not far away from her.
I have not actually watched Princess and the Frog yet.
Yes. Okay. All right, so Disney Plus is going back to the fast-paced mammal dystopia of Zootopia, and Zootopia Plus is short in a short form series coming to Disney Plus in 2022. Step up to the plate and check out the first look at art for Disney's Win or Lose, an all-new animated series coming to Disney Plus in the fall of 2023. Rev up your engines. Owen Wilson and Larry the Cable Guy return as voices for Lightning McQueen and Mater for Disney Plus' original series Cars on the Road, streaming in 2022. This was a show I did not watch.
I didn't watch it either.
But if you are a fan of the Proud Family, came out, I think that was in the early 2000s.
I think so.
It
It was after the point where I was not paying attention to Disney Channel, even though I now finally had Disney Channel.
Right. The Proud Family, Louder and Prouder, an original series, starts streaming February 2022 on Disney Plus. And this is the one that got me. I was like, "Oh my gosh, they're doing this." The reboot comeback, 30 years in the making. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, an original movie, streaming spring 2022 on Disney Plus. Yes, if you want, go to our Facebook page and go look it up, because they made a itty bitty tiny script that looks like it's been used quite a bit. It looks amazing.
Well, I'm sure it got passed around between all 5 Rescue Rangers.
Yes. All right. So exactly. So a big hero will rise. Baymax, a Disney Plus original series, will be streaming starting summer 2022.
And the trailer for that is actually pretty funny.
All right, so I'll check that out later. And yeah, that's all I have in the news, except for, we're getting X-Men again.
Woo!
Yes, exactly. So that looks like it's been coming to us in 2023. Can this come any sooner, please?
It'll happen when it happens. This gives this gives me plenty of time to get through all 5 seasons.
Right.
Because there's no... admittedly, I'm watching like 2 or 3 episodes at a time now. Eventually, I'm going to get to 1 a day, maybe.
Right.
1 a week. You never know. It'll go up and down. This just gives me plenty of time.
All right. So that is all I have in the news.
So we need to jump into the spoiler-free section
Yes.
of our review for Princess Mononoke. It played.
Okay.
You first.
Okay.
We're going back in weird order. I don't know.
Okay. Throw me off. Why don't you?
Okay, I'll go first then.
Oh, I got it. All right. So Princess Mononoke, I really enjoyed this film. It's really well done. It does have an environmental theme to it, which is great in some ways. In some ways, it's more like, okay, let's beat your head over with it. But
I was saying protect what you got.
Exactly.
And don't anger pig gods.
Yeah, true. Gods.
Gods.
Yeah, gods.
You can't see the quotation marks when we say that, but gods.
So either way,
if I'm quoting it. It's this voice. Gods.
So I enjoyed it. I do have a few problems with it. A lot of questions. More, it's like, what in the world? Because like I'm going to ask you, Drew, a question later on and see if you can help me answer this riddle. So I will ask you later in the dislikes, I guess.
Oh, and dislikes. Okay.
Yes. So it's more of like trying to clarification. It's like, what does this mean? Because I didn't understand it. And yeah,
it means watch the Japanese version where they'll probably be explained less.
Haha.
Probably.
Probably.
But you must learn. You must understand all of Japanese culture over the past 200 years.
Okay.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Yeah. Let me enroll a class at UT where I can just understand Japanese culture in 6 months.
Or just watch Demon Slayer. That was good enough for me.
Okay. All right. So
considering there are demons in this movie that had to be slain.
That's
You
the
should,
first.
you should watch Demon Slayer.
That's
anyway.
that's what I
It's a great
kept
show.
hearing and be like when I was watching this movie, it's like, oh, that sounds like the Demon Slayer show
Yes.
that people keep talking about, and
Except
apparently
this
it's very
takes place-
popular.
Except this technically takes place in an earlier era from Demon Slayer. But anyway,
Either way, yeah, would I recommend it? Yes. It's a bit bloody, a little gory. It's got a little language here and there. But overall, it's a good story. It's very well told. The ending is questionable in some fashion or form, but
trust me, we'll get to that.
yeah, we'll get to there. We'll get there when we get there. But yeah, would I recommend it? Yes. Is it family friendly? I don't know about that.
I think it's all right.
It's all right.
I
You know,
think- I
it's
think
got a good
there's-
message.
Considering what one group of ladies, well, most of the ladies in this.
Oh,
movie
yeah,
are,
that's true.
you
That
may
is
have
so
to
true.
Answer a question.
Yeah, that is true.
but
But there's nothing wrong with answering questions as long as you're truthful about things.
Geek Devotion says it's got big puppies. I mean, spirit wolves.
Spirit wolves.
Puppies.
Puppies that will bite your head off. Or in the case of one character, be like, I want to chew her head off. Either way. So yeah, it's a good movie. It's a great movie. It's definitely worth a watch. Definitely if you're an animation fan or an anime fan, definitely go watch this. This is a really, really, really well done movie. And yeah. What about you, Drew?
This is one of my favorite Studio Ghibli films. Period.
All right.
I say
Understood.
one of because it's got to go up against My Neighbor Totoro,
Yeah.
which is already competition.
Yeah.
Kiki's Delivery Service.
Yes. Yes.
Also, competition.
Agreed.
Porco Rosso, which I just love because it's Porco Rosso, and I like the idea. I love the idea of pigs flying.
Like.
That was not a quotation mark.
Don't confuse people then.
Sorry, my apologies. And there's a couple others that are up here, but this is one of my absolute favorites,
All right.
if not my favorite. This is the one I went out of my way and literally drove an hour and a half to see in a movie theater
Wow.
because I love this film that much.
Wow.
I first saw it years ago on DVD
Mm-hmm.
when I was first introducing myself to Studio Ghibli.
Right.
I remembered loving it then, but couldn't remember anything about it other than I loved it when Fathom Events started doing the Ghibli Fests they were doing. But for whatever reason, where I normally watch Ghibli Fest here in East Texas, which is closer, which is Studio Movie Grill in Tyler,
Oh.
they weren't showing Princess Mononoke.
Where were they showing it?
I had to go to Longview,
Oh, okay.
other side of Longview.
Wow. Okay.
So I went a little out of my way to go watch this film in a theater because it deserved it. There's very few films, I will say this right now, that deserve a rewatch in a theater. This is one of them.
Indeed.
It is that good. And I meant to go back and watch this in the Japanese version because I have yet to actually watch the original Japanese version of this. But this is still one of my favorites, and I've only watched the English dub. So maybe I'll get to the Japanese version, and without whatever additions Neil Gaiman added to this to make it make more sense to us stupid Americans, maybe I won't like it as much. I don't know. Maybe I'll like it just as much because I've seen the version that somewhat explains what's going on. It's just such a good movie, and I love this movie. I think anyone who should go watch it because it is if I were to point to a single solitary film that shows what animation can do,
Agreed.
it's this film.
Agreed.
There's a reason I've technically bought this film on Blu-ray twice.
True. And I
And
own
one
the
of them
first
I gave to him.
Yes. Thank you, by the way.
You're welcome. So yeah, Princess Mononoke is a movie I originally went to see thinking it was supposed to be Miyazaki's Disney princess film, and really should have realized what that meant. Because she is not a Disney princess, but
No.
technically she could kick every single one of them butt, including Mulan.
Indeed. Indeed.
Including the Disney princess I don't consider a Disney princess.
She might have a little more trouble with like either Rapunzel or Anna. Or Elsa. Sorry, Elsa.
Wolves is all I'm going to say. She's got brothers and sister wolves.
That is true.
She defeated... Well, rephrase. She didn't defeat a god. She kept a god alive until he turned into a demon.
That is true.
Spoiler alert! So, before I go and rep more of this film for people who've not seen it, let's jump into the spoilers for this right after these words from our, not really our sponsors, because one of them's us. And it's literally me in all three of these spots. Anyway, intermission time.
Go for it.
Don't forget that you can download. Don't forget that you can. Don't forget that you can listen to us record the podcast live every Tuesday over on our Facebook page, the Cellcast, our Twitch channel, the Cellcast Gaming, and on YouTube at Cellcast. Also, don't forget to join our Patreon if you would like to support us monetarily. At $1, you'll get our everlasting thanks. At our $5 tier, you can get some artwork from Jacob. And on our $10 tier, you can get bloopers for every episode we've released that I've remembered to release them for. And you can get commentaries from different movies. So come check us out over there if you would like to support us financially. Each week on Stunning and Brave, hosts Chris Cowan of the Babylon Bee and Nate Henderson of Some Boring Budgeting Job confess their privilege, spotlight stunning social media posts, and fabricate outrage, all while keeping you super woke and enlightened. They will make you laugh. That's right, you have no choice. Check out Stunning and Brave at stunningandbrave.net. Do you like Star Wars? I don't just mean the original trilogy. Along with that, I mean the prequels, the sequels, the anthologies, the animated shows, and of course, who doesn't like Baby Yoda? Well, if you've been in the fandom for any length of time, you know how toxic the fandom can get. And if you'd like to be able to discuss a galaxy far, far away in a much more positive light, might I suggest searching out The Outer Rim, a Facebook group dedicated to all of Star Wars, and check out their YouTube channel, which you can easily find at Pop Americana, which the podcast you're currently listening to is also a part of. To find that and more, check out the link in the description. Well, I'll be double checking that in the audio later on.
Let's see.
Okay. I have to back up because I got to read this to you.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna back up a ways because Geek Devotions has been talking a ton in our chat.
Apparently, thank you, Geek Devotions.
So I'm gonna back up all the way back to here. Josh says, "No more loud beep. Not sure if I'm happy or sad." Well, it's because I forgot to turn preview to live. That's why y'all didn't hear probably any of that stuff in the beginning, and while I'll probably have to re-edit all that back into the show later on. But, yeah. Josh says, and neither me nor Dallas showed up, as far as you know. Josh says, the Cellcast. Search for the Lost Post. When I couldn't find the trivia question.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Josh says, I've been watching Kuroko's basketball.
Okay.
Cowboy Bebop as he's getting ready for the live action series. And Olaf Presents. Twitch Geek Devotions then enters the chat as far as I can tell and says, Gah! I love this movie! Then Josh says, Dallas! And Geek Devotion says, what's up? The real RKO Stutter 619. What show is he talking about, lol? Josh says, not much, you? Geek Devotion says, X-Men. This is my favorite version of the X-Men. Hate that the first season is so out of order. Don't tell me that. Geek Devotion says to Josh, not much here, chilling. Geek Devotion says, first appearance of Deadpool. He was pretty hardcore. Josh says Deadpool debuted in 1991. Geek Devotion says, nope, he doesn't show up later in the show. Well, that's sad. Probably in 97. More than likely in 97 he'll show up. Josh says he was much more like Deathstroke when he first showed up. That's true. Geek Devotion says the Phoenix Saga is the greatest version on screen. I think I agree with that. Geek Devotion says best part of Ferngully was the promo with Pizza Hut.
Indeed.
Josh says I vaguely remember Ferngully. To which Geek Devotion says, dang, I've already eaten and I want Pizza Hut now. Josh says more of a Papa John's guy myself. Geek Devotions then says that's fair. Only ever likes the thin crust at Pizza Hut. I'm more of a Domino's guy. I'm no longer a Domino's guy because I used to deliver for them and I've had more of that pizza than I care to admit. Because of course you do there when you work there. Geek Devotions says I'm excited about X-Men 97, but I really want Wolverine in the X-Men season 3. I didn't watch that one, so I don't know.
Me either.
Geek Devotion says just let me know when you want a guest to talk X-Men, lol. Is there an animated X-Men movie? I don't think there is.
No, there isn't. Well, yes, there is. It's the Japanese version. There's a Japanese.
There's
movie.
a TV show.
No, that's a TV series. I'm sorry, I thought it was a movie.
Because it's Marvel anime.
Right.
Oh well, we'll come back to it. Geek Devotion says seems very modern anime American hybrid style. I can see that. Geek Devotion says Princess and the Frog was solid. Princess and the Frog was sold. Only line that sticks out to me though is, "Ooh, y'all from Shreveport?"
Oh,
I can see why.
Yeah.
Geek Devotion says, "Dang, the way he said that, I thought he was saying reboot was getting a reboot. I was getting excited." Geek Devotion's reboot had a reboot, and it was bad.
It was really bad.
It was reboot meets Power Rangers, and it was not done well. Geek Devotion says, sadly, last 2 seasons of it were not good. And then he said later on, it's got big puppies. I mean, Spirit Wolves.
That's the title.
Yeah, pretty much. He says he would rate it PG-12.
PG-12.
Which at that point I say PG-13.
Pretty much.
Geek says, this is my first Ghibli movie, so it has a very special place in my heart.
Nice.
Geek Devotion says Porco Rosso was lit.
Indeed.
And then he said commitment, though I'm not sure to what. Oh, maybe driving to Longview to see this.
Yeah, that is commitment.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Geek Devotion says, lol, I first saw it on a bootlegged VHS. That works for me, actually. I don't mind that. Geek Devotion says, it does deserve a theater watch. Yes, it does.
Yes.
And then he said, preach! And then after me ranting and raving about the movie so much in my spoiler-free section, he says, so your final rating is going to be a 3, right? If by 3 we're actually using the retro rewind classification, which technically would make it a classic, so yes.
Indeed.
And Geek Devotion says, big freaking puppies! I mean wolves. Big freaking spirit wolves! Elsa is kibbles and bits.
Okay. That'd be an interesting debate. Either way.
And Josh says, big spirit puppies. Now this was all during the intermission.
Yeah.
So that's when I saw that, that's when I kind of was doing this, so I would quit laughing. And Geek Devotion says, don't laugh too hard, Drew. He said, spirit wolves don't know if it's not bacon. Spirit wolves don't know if it's not bacon.
What?
He holds up a picture of Frozen. What? Wow.
Jeez.
That would be frozen bacon.
Meme. Do something to me about that.
Yes.
Yes, do something like that. The amazing.
Josh says, to be fair, most fandoms can get pretty toxic. Referring to the thing about the Star Wars group in our intermission.
Yeah.
And then Josh says, "Loud Beep is back." Apparently, our beep is a meme now.
Edo says,
Oh, God.
your reading of this is probably more exciting than it was. And then he said, only X-Men animated movie is Pride of the X-Men.
Oh yeah, the pilots.
Yeah, the pilot. Yeah.
The failed pilot technically.
Yeah.
And he says, Geek Bush says, we don't talk about that failed reboot.
Technically, it wouldn't be a reboot because
The
technically
reboot.
reboot. Oh, that reboot. Got it.
And then he says, oh, there were those Wolverine versus movies. I forgot about that.
That's right.
He says, yeah, I was talking about the Longview trip. Anyway, that's all those. We need to jump into the second part of the show. I don't have a special spoiler warning for this one,
Okay.
unfortunately. So I'll just do the normal one once we come back.
All right.
Admittedly, I can't just bust out a Country Roads rendition for this. The following is a spoiler-filled review for Princess Mononoke. Listener discretion is advised. Princess Mononoke, or as it's known in Japanese, Mononoke Hime, was written and directed by Hayao Miyazaki. The English version was written by Neil Gaiman. Cast includes Billy Crudup as Ashitaka, who played Dr. Manhattan in Watchmen. Billy Bob Thornton, who played Jigo, and plays the character of Jack in Puss in Boots.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Minnie Driver was Lady Oboshi, and in Tarzan, she's the voice of Jane.
Really?
Yeah,
I can hear that.
yeah. I after watching this, I could definitely hear it. John Dimaggio was the voice of Ganza. This is the fourth movie in a row with John Dimaggio that we've reviewed, and 3 of them have been Miyazaki films.
Indeed.
But once again, along with Ganza, he was additional voices, but he was Bender Bending Rodriguez in Futurama, and Jake the Dog in Adventure Time, and Waka in Final Fantasy X.
Waka waka.
Claire Danes was the voice of San, and in the movie Stardust, she plays Yvain, the
Yvain?
star that he's the main character falls in love with.
Ah.
It's actually a good movie. I enjoyed that movie. John Demita was the voice of Koroku, and in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, he's the voice of Cars.
Cars.
As in a guy named Cars, because most of the characters' names in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure are either named JoJo or they're named after a Western rock band. So he's named after the Cars.
Got it.
Follow?
Follow.
All right. Jada Pinkett Smith was the voice of Toki.
Okay.
And in The Matrix, the Matrix saga, she plays Niobe.
Yeah.
Gillian Anderson was the voice of Morrow, a.k.a. Mama Wolf. And she was Dana Scully in The X-Files.
Oh.
Keith David was the voice of Okoto, the narrator, and additional voices. And I think Jacob and me both know him better as a character from Gargoyles named Goliath.
Ah. Yeah, that's true. That is so true.
Kingdom Hearts Connections.
Of course.
Once again, this is the 4th week in a row I've read this. John Dimaggio, who was the voice of Gonza and all the other things, he is Jacoby in Kingdom Hearts, which is one of the zombies from the Pirates of the Caribbean level. Tara Strong, who was the voice of Kea in this, is the voice of Riku in Final Fantasy from Final Fantasy X. I have to say it specifically that way because there's 2 Rikus in Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
And one of them I said last week.
Oh, okay.
Riku and Riku. And the games Final Fantasy X and Kingdom Hearts 1 came out around the same time.
Okay.
In fact, Riku, Final Fantasy X's Riku, was not in Kingdom Hearts 1 because Tetsuya Nomura, the games director, was afraid people would get the characters confused.
I can
Because of the
imagine.
similar names.
I can imagine.
Anyway, Tress McNeil, who was additional voices in this, and I think she was actually the voice of the priestess from the very beginning of the film that essentially kicks Ashitaka out of the village.
Mm-hmm.
She's voice of Chip, the Queen of Hearts, Daisy Duck, Merryweather, and Kanga in Kingdom Hearts.
Really?
Corey Burton, who was additional voices in this, was Captain Hook, the White Rabbit, the Doorknob, Flotsam, Jetsam, Dale, Diz, Ansem the Wise. I said Dale twice for some reason. Yensid, MCP, Santa Claus, Sark, Shan Yu, the Peddler, Magic Mirror, Claude Frollo, and Zeus in Kingdom Hearts. Okay. Adam Paul, who was additional voices here, was the tournament announcer in Kingdom Hearts 2. And Matt McKenzie, who is additional voices here, is the voice of Auron in Final Fantasy X and Kingdom Hearts.
Oh.
I don't think you know Auron.
I think I've seen him before.
Okay. And that's the end of my Kingdom Hearts connections.
Alrighty. As I sit back down.
Hang on. When you say stuff, I have to cut out. I want to make sure I know where it is.
Alrighty. Alright, so for info and stuff. If you want to watch this, this movie is available for streaming on HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
It has an IMDb score of 8.4 out of 10. It was production was by Studio Ghibli, distributed by Toho. Over here in the States, originally produced by, distributed by the Walt Disney Pictures, and currently is being distributed by G Kids. Its release date was July 12th, 1997 in Japan, and October 29th, 1999 in the USA box office. So this movie in Japan, it made 2.4 billion yen, or conversion of $23.5 million. Its U.S. opening was $144,000 on October 31st, 1999. Its U.S. gross was $4.8 million, and its worldwide gross was $169.7 million. Home release. There's a lot to go through here, so just bear with me. In Japan, the film was released on VHS by Buena Vista Home Entertainment on July 26, 1998. On Laserdisc, also it was released on Laserdisc. If you know what a Laserdisc is,
It's the grandfather of all optical media.
yeah, boom,
It was a record. It was a CD the size of a record,
pretty much.
but used a different technology to actually encode the pits and valleys.
All right. So the film was released on DVD by Buena Vista Entertainment in November 31st, 2001 with bonus content. Let's see. By 2007, Princess Mononoke had sold 7.4 million Blu-rays in Japan. That's on average. It's sold between right now that would be an equivalent of $259.1 million. That's of 2007. In the 2000s, Buena Vista Entertainment with Miramax Home Entertainment announced the plan to release the film on VHS and DVD in North America on August 29th. Initially, the DVD Blu-ray, the DVD. Man, if I could talk today. Initially, the DVD version of Princess Mononoke wasn't going to include the Japanese language track, but later it was added. Let's see. Miramax Home Entertainment released the DVD in 2000 and December 9th, 2000, with the original audio track and the English dub audio, including trailers, documentaries, interviews from the English voice cast. It was released on Blu-ray disc in Japan in December 4th, 2013. Walt Disney Studio Home Entertainment released Princess Mononoke on Blu-ray disc on November 18th, 2014. In its first week, it sold 21,860 units. By November 23rd, 2014, it had grossed over $502,000 in revenue. It was later released in the Disney collection, The Collected Works of Hayao Miyazaki, a Blu-ray set released on November 17th, 2015. G-Kids reissued the films on Blu-ray and DVD on October 17th, 2017. In total, Mononoke's video releases in Japan and the US have sold approximately $260 million worth in units.
Okay.
That's a lot of film.
Yeah. Getting into the summary for this one. In the Muromachi era of Japan, which is around the time of the Portuguese originally ran into Japan, to give you time era for this.
Got it.
Because I actually had to look that up because I was curious because of some of the timetables I knew. But that's when this takes place.
Right.
An Amishi village is attacked by a hideous demon. The last Amishi prince, Ashitaka, kills it before it reaches the village, but it manages to grasp his arm and curse him before its death. The curse grants him some superhuman strength, but it also causes him pain and will eventually kill him. The villagers discover that the demon was a boar god, corrupted by an iron ball lodged in his body. The village's wise woman tells Ashitaka that he may find a cure in the western lands that the demon came from, and that he cannot return to his homeland. Heading west, Ashitaka meets Jigo, an opportunistic monk who tells Ashitaka he may find help from the great forest spirit, a deer-like animal god by day and a giant night walker by night. Nearby, men on a cliffside herd oxen to their home of Irontown, led by Lady Oboshi, and repel an attack by a wolf pack led by the wolf goddess Moro, whom Oboshi wounds with a gunshot. Riding one of the wolves is San, a human girl. Down below, Ashitaka encounters San and the wolves, who rebuff his greeting. He then manages to rescue two of the men fallen from the cliff and transports them back through the forest, where he briefly glimpses the great forest spirit. Ashitaka and the survivors arrive at Irontown, where he is greeted with fascination. Irontown is a refuge for outcasts and lepers employed to process iron and create firearms, such as hand cannons and matchlock muskets. Ashitaka learns that the town was built by clear-cutting forests to mine the iron, leading to conflicts with Asano, a local daimyo, and a giant boar god named Nago. Oboshi admits that she shot Nago, incidentally turning him into the demon that attacked Ashitaka's village. She also reveals that San, dubbed Princess Mononoke, was raised by the wolves and resents humankind. Suddenly, San infiltrates Irontown to kill Oboshi. Ashitaka intervenes and quickly subdues Oboshi and San while they are locked in combat. Amidst the hysteria, he is shot by a villager, but the curse gives him strength to carry San out of the village. San awakens and prepares to kill the weakened Ashitaka, but hesitates when he tells her that she is beautiful. She decides to trust him after the forest spirit heals his bullet wound that night. The next day, a boar clan led by the blind god Okoto plans to attack Irontown to save the forest. Oboshi sets out to kill the forest spirit with Jigo. Oboshi intends to give the god's head to the emperor, who believes it will grant him immortality in return for protection from Lord Asano, while Jigo desires the large reward being offered. Ashitaka recovers and finds Irontown besieged by Asano samurai. The Boar clan has also been annihilated in battle, and Okoto is badly wounded. Jigo's men then trick Okoto into leading them to the forest spirit. San tries to stop Okoto, but is swept up as the pain corrupts him into a demon. As everyone clashes at the pool of the forest spirit, Ashitaka saves San while the forest spirit kills Moro and Okoto. As it begins to transform into the Nightwalker, Oboshi decapitates it. Jigo steals the head while the forest spirit's body bleeds ooze that spreads over the land and kills anything it touches. The forest and Kodama begin to die. Moro's head comes alive and bites off Oboshi's right arm, but she survives. After Irontown is evacuated, Ashitaka and San pursue Jigo and retrieve the head, returning it to the forest spirit. The spirit dies, but its form washes over the land, healing it and lifting Ashitaka's curse. Ashitaka stays to help rebuild Irontown, but promises San he will visit her in the forest. Oboshi vows to build a better town. The forest begins to regrow as a single Kodama emerges from the brush. Getting into the trivia for this, when Harvey Weinstein obtained the North American distribution rights originally for Princess Mononoke, he approached director Hayao Miyazaki and insisted on a shorter version of the film that would be better attuned to American audiences. However, Miyazaki was still so upset by the heavily cut version of Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind from 1984, which was originally released in America as Warriors of the Wind, that he angrily left the meeting. Several days later, Studio Ghibli producer Toshio Suzuki sent a katana sword to Weinstein's office with no cuts, with the words "no cuts" embedded into its blade. The film was later released in the USA in its uncut version. When asked about the incident in an interview, Miyazaki simply smiled and stated, "I defeated him." I just love that. Director Hayao Miyazaki personally corrected or redrew more than 80,000 of the film's 144,000 animation cells.
Wow.
Also, this film is the last major animated motion picture to be filmed on plastic animation cells.
Wow.
Hayao Miyazaki had intended this to be his final film before retiring. Its great success led him to do another, Spirited Away, in 2001. He has made more films in the years since then.
Mm-hmm.
Princess Mononoke replaced E.T. from 1982 as the biggest grossing film of all time in Japan until later that year when Titanic came out.
Somebody a love story in boats just gets people excited.
Apparently. I'm sorry, Jam. I haven't seen Titanic, but I suspect it wasn't as good as this film.
I haven't seen it either.
Produced for about 2.35 billion Japanese yen, it was the most expensive anime ever made at the time of its release.
Mm-hmm.
When the English dubbed version was screened at the Toronto International Film Festival, Hayao Miyazaki introduced his film to the audience saying, "With Princess Mononoke, I intentionally threw out all the rules of entertainment movie making, which is why it will take some time for a true evaluation of this film to emerge. I hope you will all enjoy the ridiculously long... sorry, let me rephrase that. I hope you will enjoy all of the ridiculously long 2 hours and 13 minutes. Mononoke means angry or vengeful spirit. Hime is the Japanese honorific word that means princess, which in the rules of Japanese grammar is placed after a person's name instead of before, as is the custom in many Western languages. When the film's title was translated into English, it was decided that Mononoke would be left as a name rather than translated literally. This also explains why Ashitaka mostly calls the princess by her real name San instead of Mononoke.
That makes sense.
When it was announced that the Miramax Buena Vista Region 1 DVD would only contain the English language dialogue track, which was adapted by Neil Gaiman, there was enough fan protest to convince Miramax to delay the release in order to include the original Japanese language dialogue. I guess because they may have already gone into production of the discs, I'm guessing. And they had to delay it so they could redo the disc image, I'm guessing, so include the Japanese. That's just a guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Princess Mononoke was the first animated film to ever receive the Japan Academy Prize for Picture of the Year. Only one other animated film has ever received this award, which was Spirited Away. Prior to 2007, there was no category for Best Animation of the Year, which that year was won by The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. Lady Oboshi wears red lipstick, making her one of the very few Studio Ghibli characters with visible lips. There's something you've never thought about.
No, absolutely not.
With a runtime of 134 minutes, it is the fourth longest animated film ever made after Final Yamato in 1983, which was 165 minutes, The Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya, which was in 2010 and 162 minutes, and The Tale of the Princess Kaguya, which was in 2013 at 138 minutes. Japanese mythology tells that dogs and wolves are always male voiced, and cats are always female voiced, regardless of sex. For this reason, a man, Akihiro Miwa, provides the voice of Moro, the mother wolf, in the Japanese version. His casting is perhaps also an in-joke to his career as a female impersonator. In the English dub, however, Moro is, of course, voiced by Gillian Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Neil Gaiman, when he was translating the script, chose to simplify some plot elements to provide a cultural context for phrases and actions not well known outside of Japan. Specific terms like Jibashiri and Shishigami, for example, are changed to the more general mercenary and forest spirit. On the English language DVD and Blu-ray, the subtitle options have a literal translation of Hayao Miyazaki's script in addition to Gaiman's adaptation. The creative teams for Star Wars The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels cited San as an inspiration for Ahsoka Tano. There are quite a few similarities between the two characters, such as their spiritual connection to nature and life, as well as their fighting and movement style.
That totally makes sense.
As the forest spirit dies during the film, the lepers are shown to be healed.
I didn't
catch that. I need to go back and watch that now that I know that. Lastly, when Ashitaka intervenes in the fight between Lady Oboshi and San, Eboshi exclaims that she's tired of Ashitaka's cursed right arm before shouting, "Let me just cut the danged thing off." I kind of censored myself there. Later in the film, Eboshi loses her right arm to Moro.
Mm-hmm.
If that ain't a coincidence.
Don't you think?
Yeah. Isn't it ironic? Anyway. And Josh threw this in there. In the Japanese version, the main Ashitaka's little sister was his wife in the original dub.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Which brings us to our likes and dislikes. My first like, if I may.
Go for it.
I love the use of the CG for the demon worm things and the Night Walker.
Indeed.
Okay, so this is... Well, I wouldn't say it's early CG 2D animation, because that technically is the 80s.
True.
And you can... Because we have talked about it when we were talking about... The Great Mouse Detective.
True.
And a couple other films since then we brought that up. The way it's used here, I think it's done a lot better here, because the problem with all those other versions we brought up is you always know it's the CG part.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't match any of the animation of the rest of the film. Not really. The coloring is there.
Yeah.
But it's usually too smooth or too precise, I guess really is the word I'm looking for.
Right.
But the way they use it here, all the downsides that I would normally quote for all those other problems actually work to make it more ethereal here.
Okay.
Especially all the little worm things all over the boar gods when they're transformed into demons, and how it shows up around Ashitaka's arm.
Yeah.
They move far faster than I think any person would normally animate them. So it kind of gives you the creepy crawlies, if we're being honest.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
They're there. And then it's very obvious that the Nightwalker was also had to be done with the CG in order to get the more fluidic motion that the character needed for how it moved and all, especially as it was dying.
Yeah, agreed.
And turned into the giant, dark, evil blob that was killing everything. And I just appreciate how in every single one of those instances, it really makes it feel more like it's not physically happening, but you can see it, because they do use a lot of the transparency effect for like all the little I think they called them kodamas.
Yeah.
The little spirit, the forest spirits.
Yeah.
But the fact that how they also use them for all the demon effects and the Nightwalker, I just thought looked so. It's like they took that technique's weakness and turned it into a strength for this purpose. And I appreciate when you can actually do that, because not everyone can do that correctly, in my opinion. So yeah, that's my first like.
Okay. My first like is actually the stunning animation in this film. Like you said, the way they animate the way the demons or the tree spirits move or whatever. Be like, those are really enjoyable. You look at the how they draw people. They're fluid animation stuff. Like when someone is running, you get that full cycle animation.
Yeah.
And there's no like, you're going by 1/2s. Be like you're going full bore animation. No pun intended on that. But just be like, the animation in this movie is incredible. You have the boar tribe, or the pig tribe, who is assaulting the humans.
The Amishi?
The Amishi, yeah, like running down the hill. Be like obviously they probably use CGI in some cases in those, but just the fluidity of everything. Be like, it's smooth. There's no real shortcuts, because back then, be like, even though this was 1997,
Yeah.
be like, the CG was there, but it wasn't as dominant. It would have been used as so frequently.
Try 3 years later.
3 years later,
Yeah, our next film, My Neighbors the Yamadas, is
Yeah.
completely done in CG animated.
yeah,
2D CG animation, but still CG animation.
yeah. So you take the be like, this was all hand drawn animation with a little CG assistance in some regards, but you're just looking at like a masterpiece of animation technique and character fluidity, movement, design, just incredible. But like, the animation is top notch, and it's Studio Ghibli probably at its best.
Yeah.
So yeah, mine is just animation top down.
Alrighty. My second like. Every single character in this film
I would agree.
is deep. There is not a shallowness to any of the character designs or any of the character stories.
Yeah.
Even something as stupid as the guy who Ashitaka takes back, that's Toriko's husband.
Oh yeah.
The one who has one of my favorite lines in any animated thing ever. My arm! It's healed! No, it's still broken! It's all of every single character you feel like actually has a life.
Yeah, agreed.
So many times, even Disney films run into this problem every once in a while. They just have people who are, when I say characters, I mean people who have voice lines.
Yeah.
Who are not just extras in the background with extra type lines. Characters who are actually adding to the story, adding to the plot.
Right.
Even if it's in the most minute way possible. They all feel like they're real people, strangely enough.
Indeed.
Now, I have at least some issues with how some of these are shown, but especially in some of the more English dubbed lines, but we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, I just love how every single character here feels like they're, if you'll pardon the phrase, 3-dimensional. Even though they're all 2-dimensional physically.
True.
So yeah, that's my second like.
All right. My second like would be, I had to think about this because I didn't get a chance to write everything down.
I didn't write most of mine down until right before you came over, so I don't feel bad.
Okay. All right. So my second like. Oh my gosh. Ow. Oh, yeah, beep that. You didn't beep it.
I did, but the speaker went off again.
Oh, okay. Okay. My second like. Why am I drawing a blank? Don't you love that? There it goes. All right. My second like would be. Oh my god.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to season 1 of the Cellcast, because this is why we were not doing it
Yes.
live back then.
Yes. Because you go like blankets. Oh my gosh! And your people are watching you, and you're trying to be as professional as you can, and you just lose it.
And because you forgot to take notes.
Exactly, which I normally do. It's just I just be like I think I
You had
ran
a busy weekend.
I had a busy weekend, and beforehand I'd gone somewhere and had some tacos, and then I was trying to get notes ready, and I was like, I can't. I'd be like, do not worry. I love this film. I just more like I went blank. What are the likes and dislikes? But going into my second like, not dislike, like.
So Jacob, your second like.
My second like, thank you. My second like would be sorry.
Just talk about what you liked about the film.
Okay. Oh my gosh. I feel so embarrassed. All right. You know that moment where you be like you have a thought, but when you try to say the thought, it doesn't come out. That's where it's coming out on me.
Yeah.
Okay. So, my second like about this film is almost a non-traditional, be like a lot with a lot of Miyazaki films, they don't use the very traditional like guy and girl hook up, they fall in love, they wind up getting married in the end or what have you. This doesn't really have that.
No.
And I appreciate that for the idea of it's like, okay, these two characters obviously do have a romantic interest in each other, but due to circumstances, they really can't be together. And I'll get into that in my dislikes later. But I like the idea of two characters who obviously have romantic feelings towards one another, but they can't fulfill those obligations due to external and internal conflicts. So, yeah, this idea that our two main characters really can't be together. I know it's weird, but it's very non-traditional. So
It's fair.
yeah.
So my third like is a quote. And I say this is a quote because I say this is my like for the simple reason that it shows how well the characters are thought out.
Okay.
This quote is from Lady Oboshi,
Okay.
and it states, "Watch closely, everyone. I'm going to show you how to kill a god of life and death. The trick is not to fear him."
Okay.
So here's the thing. For one thing, she is saying this while she's taking aim at the spirit god.
Yeah.
The deer, essentially. And I watched that, and I heard her say that line and thought, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Uh-huh.
And what's going to go very south for you, and I knew it was going to go south because this is like the third time I've watched this film. You're about to have to run for your life. Because you're going to be stupid and not fear a god of life and death. And you're going to try and kill him. Technically, she succeeds. But, man, was that the stupidest decision you ever made in your entire life,
Agreed.
Lady Oboshi. Because here's the thing about Lady Oboshi. Despite the fact of this very dumb decision on her part to actually take part in this thing, I don't consider her the villain. Because Because if you look at everything else she's done, they've been very smart decisions, or at least some of it.
Yeah.
I mean, tearing down the entire forest, did to iron, and not allowing the spirits that are trying to replant the forest, actually replant, and going to a lot of trouble to keep them from doing that. Especially when I don't see a reason for you to do that, because you could allow the land to regrow afterwards. But anyway, it's beside the point. She's a little greedy in that moment. But look at the people she hired. She didn't go and get people who were liked or well loved for this. She went and paid all of the prostitutes.
Okay.
That's who all the ladies were. They were all ladies of the night.
Yeah, agreed.
And she allowed the lepers, the people who nobody wants to be around because they don't want to get the disease
Right.
and have their arm fall off or whatever. They allow,
My toe fell off.
yeah. She goes and hires these people who had no future
Yeah.
in reality. And she says, come with me. We're going to go to this other place. And yeah, you're going to have to work hard. You're going to do you're going to have to be a busy person. But you're going to live a better life over here than you're living right here.
Indeed.
She goes and hires these people. She has no reason to. Yeah, I mean, they're easy people, and they're the people most likely to want to get up and leave their hometown because they're not exactly in a good situation in the first place.
Indeed.
So yeah, they are easy labor to get a hold of. But she's saying, but she treats every single person in that town, including Ganza, who I wanted to see slapped around a couple hundred times. She treats them all with respect.
Yeah.
She even treats Ashitaka with a lot of respect, even though she gets extremely frustrated with him, especially since he's not on her side, but he's also not on the side of the wolf spirits either.
Yeah.
I just like how this character, who is very well thought. When I looked up that quote I read, it was on the Villains Wiki, is where I found it.
Really?
She's not really a villain. She's made she makes some bad choices, but she's not the villain of this movie. And I'll get into that here in a minute when we get to dislikes, because there is one character who is the villain who does not get the consequences coming to him that he should.
Agreed.
But we'll get to that in a minute. This Lady Oboshi, while she is technically the primary antagonist of the story, I guess, I don't really see her as such. And the fact that, and this moment that moment is where she's the most foolish in this, is when she decides, I know enough that I'm going to kill a god.
Yeah.
And she realizes almost immediately after firing, that was stupid. And you know who still says they're all foolish for not killing God, essentially?
Mm-hmm.
The actual villain of the film, Jigo.
Yeah, Jigo.
Who I hate with a fiery passion. But he's the real villain of this movie. And his final line is, well, I give up. You can't win against fools. Who's the foolish one here? The one trying to keep you from killing God, your local God, or the one who's saying there is no God and we shouldn't care? The guy's an atheist.
True.
And I'm not saying atheists are stupid, or
no,
saying
they're not.
I'm praying for y'all is all what I'm saying.
True.
Because when you get right down to it, as Christians, now bear in mind, I don't believe in the forest spirit. I don't believe in boar gods.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just taking what I can from this and rolling with it, essentially. Coming up with an actual spiritual truth from that is not really in the film, but it kind of is. You know what I mean? Attempting to kill God is a very foolish thing to do.
Yeah.
And it's the most foolish thing Lady Oboshi does in the entire film.
Hmm.
And who is the one character who is actually trying to stop all the killing and all the hatred? Who's the one character actually trying to end everything here peacefully? Ashitaka.
Ashitaka, the prince.
Yes. And he's the one who makes all the smart decisions in this film. Everyone else is pushed on by anger and hatred, and they all make foolish decisions
Indeed.
to feed that anger and hatred. And I'm not saying Ashitaka does not experience anger and hatred himself, because the animation on his character is so good, and the acting, you listen to the English dub, the acting is done so well that you can actually feel his anger when it happens.
Yeah.
But he never acts on that anger.
Indeed.
Or like the worst thing he does when he's acting on that anger is he picks up San and pushes the door open so he can leave without her getting killed.
Yeah.
Or bends that katana up like it's a spaghetti noodle. Or really a ramen noodle, since we're Japanese here. But I just appreciate how there is spiritual truths in this film, even though they don't intend them to be.
Agreed.
And the stupidest thing, the biggest truth you can get from this is, don't try to attack God.
Yeah, you just
It's very foolish.
Yeah, indeed.
And if it's not going to be a good time if you somehow succeed. You're not going to succeed. God is immortal.
Yeah.
And omniscient and
omnipresent
and omnipotent, meaning all powerful. You ain't going to kill God.
No.
And you're not going to defeat God. That's not how this works.
Yeah.
This isn't God, obviously. The Force Spirit is not God. He is a God, as in little g God, not the actual God. Don't hear what I'm not saying. Is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So yeah, the stupidest decision is the one where they were not fearing God.
Good point. Good point.
What is your third like?
My third like, and I actually wrote it down.
So you did take some notes.
I did take some notes while you were talking about your third like. I was like, hold on, what do I like with this one? What do I like? All right, so
I did feel you were slightly distracted, but
yes,
that's fine.
All right, what's new?
Whoa,
whoa. All right, so
my people who don't know most everyone watching this has no idea where we got that from.
All right, so my third dislike is what I'm calling like. That's what I'm going to say. Like, what I'm calling not completely healed. So when I'm going to butcher his name, Ashitaka.
Yes, Ashitaka.
Ashitaka is shot when he's leaving Irontown, and Sun, who's the princess.
Yes,
San. Thank you. Carries him to what is the place that they
all I saw a record of it being called was the Pool of the Forest Spirit.
Yeah, Pool of the Forest Spirit. So in that the forest spirit, the forest god in air quotes, like heals. How do you pronounce his name again? Sorry, Ashitaka. Thank you. I am terrible with names.
Ashitaka. Call him Ash.
Ashitaka. I don't want to mix him up with a very bad Pokemon trainer. Ooh, birds.
No one's disagreeing with you. Don't you know the best Pokemon trainer ever shown in all the Pokemon anime is James of Team Rocket?
Okay.
More on that topic later.
So Ashitaka be like the forest god in air quotes, heals his bullet wound.
Mm-hmm.
But doesn't remove the curse.
Because it's not time to remove the curse?
It's not time to remove the curse. So, in using more of a theological viewpoint, the idea that when we are saved by Christ, like yes, we are healed from our iniquities, from the sins that separate us from God. But God does not take away all of our problems. He doesn't take away the burdens of our lives, or the consequences of our actions.
Or to use a biblical phrase, the thorn from our side.
Exactly. There's a verse in in I think it's like Romans, I believe, where Paul is talking about, like he said, like the like the thorn in his side that that he wishes God would remove, but God isn't going to remove it. He's the idea that we do things that we don't do, and all these great things that that yes, God saves us from the damnation of hell and allows us to have a relationship with Him through Jesus' death and resurrection. But He does not remove everything from our lives. Like I've heard one person say before, like once you are saved, you will no longer have problems. Yeah, we're the like yeah, you got some really bad theology. Yeah, I got some really bad theology in that. But I found that when just thinking about that, when you were talking about your number 3, I was like, it's like that really fits with the theological system, the theological idea that God is going to remove the thorn because He wants us to rely more heavily on Him.
Yeah.
When those things get rough, or because if we removed all the iniquities of our lives, be like there would be no need to rely on Him daily. Because if we do not strive to be more like Him, it'd be like the notion that to be more like Him is to the idea of sanctification, to be more like Christ, is to endure those trials, endure those thorns, endure those iniquities in our lives, to show others that not through our own, but through Christ, that this is what our life is. It is not perfect. It is not, I am not perfectly righteous, that none are righteous, none not one. But the idea that that we rely on Christ even through the problems, even through the thorns, even through the plank in our eye. So yeah, God isn't going to remove everything in all your problems once you are saved. You're still going to have to deal with those things. And it's just endurance, and it's patience, and it's trust, which is something I think we all have to learn, and we're still learning. So yeah, God does not remove the thorn, or in this case, doesn't lift the curse. Not yet, anyway.
Well, the curse is lifted at the end of the film.
Yeah, the curse is lifted at the end of the film.
From both him and
San. Agreed.
Because she got the demon lines too from the other.
That is true.
God. Mm-hmm. Getting into our dislikes.
Yes.
In my opinion, the English dub of this is still very good.
Okay.
But there are still some issues.
Okay.
I would say with the English dub of this film. The biggest one for me is it feels like about half of the actors who were voicing their lines for the English dub in this film must not have been looking at the film to know how their acting was a little disconnected from what was going on screen.
Right.
As much as I love Keith David's Goliath, and that's essentially the voice Keith David was doing.
Yes,
for this entire film. I don't think he fits Oroko that well throughout most of the film. When he's doing the big rage moments, sure, fits perfectly then. But when but somehow his voice does not fit him in the quieter moments, and I don't know why that is. It just didn't work as well for me, especially when he's crazy, or not crazy, but the Emperor's men who are dressed in the boar carcasses of his his warriors who was just with him in battle. The way I know he's acting kind of crazy there, but he actually sounds like he's not injured and about to go back into battle. It's like, you should still feel a little more worn out. I don't care how much adrenaline is running through your system right now. That didn't work. Most of Jigo's lines I don't really think fit the way his character is drawn. I need to actually go back and watch the Japanese version because I suspect that Jigo is more of that high pitched, crazy Japanese person that you sometimes see in films.
Yeah.
When here he's just talking like a normal person who has a much deeper voice than it looks like the character has, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
His voice almost doesn't fit the character, and I'm not sure if that's actually what's going on, or maybe I by this point in the film there's been so much oddness to the English dub that I have to wonder about some of the casting.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I love the casting in this film. I mean, I think it's all done well. It's just it doesn't feel like the actors knew what emotions the character was portraying. It was almost like they were acting out the film as if they were the first people. They were the people the artists were going to base the animation off of.
Right.
In some cases, that's not always the case. Ashitaka, he's feels straight on. San feels straight on. Moro feels straight on. Lady Oboshi is right where she's supposed to be. But some of the other characters, it's like close, but not quite. That's just my opinion there.
I gotcha.
So, what's your first dislike?
My first dislike. It's an endless cycle, and I know this is the point of the film, but the ending is just our characters learn nothing. Our characters be like, okay, our two main characters do learn something, but everybody else around them learn nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
well, I mean, Oboshi maybe learned how stupid it was to kill a god.
Oh, I agree,
and perhaps she should, be less arrogant.
Yes,
we hope.
Agreed. So the idea, okay, so the forest spirit, in air quotes, the forest god, is dead. In which, how can you kill a god? That's just a weird thing to me from a Christian standpoint. How do you kill God?
You have to. Okay,
understand. Okay, go ahead.
I'll explain this. Because Japanese gods are not gods in the way we think.
Yeah,
they're not even gods in the sense of Zeus and Thor and
they're just more like a guardian.
These are more like just extremely high-ranking spirits.
Yeah.
They can be killed.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
They're immortal in the sense that if you don't harm them, they will live.
They will live forever.
Right, but if they can still, be injured, they're just a little below. I don't know. Admittedly, they are spiritual creatures, so I don't know how you kill a spirit. Where do they go at that point?
Right.
But then I'm not Japanese.
Right.
So I don't understand the thought process.
Yeah, so the fact that Lady Oboshi, thank you, Lady Oboshi, says at the end, be like, oh, we're going to rebuild Irontown, but better. It's like, okay. So wasn't it the same problem you were having earlier? The fact to be like you had the wolves and everybody else coming after you because you were desecrating the land.
Right. She's spoiling the land at the beginning because that's her understanding of how to get this. But now that she's been humbled,
okay,
I'll say, maybe she's looking at it's like, okay, yeah, we need to rebuild Irontown because this is everybody's livelihoods. In this town.
Agreed.
So you need to get Irontown back up and going, but perhaps we'll go about this more sustainably.
Yeah.
To use modern terminology when it comes to, mining and such.
I would agree with you on that. To me, watching this film is...
You wanted them to leave Irontown and go back to the city and be prostitutes and lepers in the city?
No, I wasn't implying that. I
mean, what else do you want them to do?
No, I'd be like, yeah, it seems...
Makes sense they need to rebuild town, and that's just how I look at it. But what do you want them to do?
I don't know. Go on parade?
Go on parade?
No, it's just the idea that, okay, so... It's like, yes, I understand the people of Irontown still need their jobs and the whole bit, but this was the same problem that they had before. So it seems like it's an endless cycle. Or you look at the idea of San and
It's
Go ahead.
more of a working with nature than just taking from nature without caring.
Okay, gotcha.
That's how I look at it.
Okay,
As what
perfectly fine.
It's what she means.
Okay,
Whether someone from this time period would actually do that
very true.
is an entirely different thing.
I would agree. Could agree on that. So in that regard, uh, there's a part of me that says, be like maybe the humans shouldn't like rebuild Irontown, but rather go do something that isn't going to disturb, the quote unquote.
But historically, that's not what's going to
Exactly.
happen.
Exactly.
I mean,
They're not going to do that.
Irontown is admittedly a fictional location.
Yeah, it's basically the
But
upcoming of the
that sort of stuff did happen because there was industrialization in Japan around this
uh-huh,
time.
agreed.
So, I mean, it was still primarily a rural culture, but they were building guns, and they didn't need the iron for the katanas.
Indeed,
and such.
indeed.
So it's not like iron was something they couldn't
Get away from.
Get away from. They still needed the iron, much like we needed the iron.
Right.
So it's just more about going about it responsibly.
Yeah, agreed. Completely agreed.
And if you're going to have a forge, having it far away from a major metropolitan area, especially close to where you're mining, is not a bad idea.
No, it's not. No, it's not a bad idea. So yeah, that was my very loosely explained not understanding, but my first was the endless cycle continues, which is naturally historically going to happen. It's just more, yeah.
Doesn't quite have the fairy tale ending you expect from a princess movie.
Yeah. It doesn't.
Speaking of which, this movie doesn't quite end the way I want it to.
Okay.
Is my second dislike.
All right.
But I'll also admit, could it really end the way I want it to? Because the way I want it to end is kind of how Whispers of the Heart ended, where they fell in love.
Right.
And actually went on to live their lives happily ever after.
Right.
That was never going to happen.
No.
They are two different people. They do love each other. You can tell that. But they are from two entirely different points of view.
Right.
And she's got to go back to her world. He's got to go back to his.
Right.
But they promise to meet up. So there's that. Also, certain people don't get what's coming to them like they should.
Right.
More on that in a minute. Because I'm going to go into a lot of stuff here in a minute.
Right.
But there's no way what ending I want for this film, I want for this story, could happen where it would make sense. Where it wouldn't feel like it was back betraying the rest of the film.
Right.
I get that. But there's still a part of me that's like, why did the forest spirit technically die when they returned the head to it? It's a god that could have remelded the head back on itself.
Right.
And this forest could have continued on in the way it was. And the people of Irontown could have learned to live in harmony with the spirits of the forest.
Mm-hmm.
And San and Ashitaka could become a couple and move back to the Amishi people where he could rejoin the town.
Yeah.
That's what I want to happen. I want everyone to get the ending they deserve. Nobody gets the ending they deserve.
Yeah.
I understand why. Doesn't mean I have to like it.
Agreed.
And that's my second dislike.
My second dislike is what I'm calling banished. Is that crap.
Ashitaka?
Ashitaka, thank you. I am terrible with names. Ashitaka is banished from his clan, his hometown.
Yeah.
Because he does this great and noble thing, protecting the town.
Right.
Yeah. Protecting his home, protecting his family, and he's cursed in order. And so you are going to sacrifice your royal lineage just because, and say, oh, you are dead to us now because you have done this great and noble thing.
It's not because he did this great and noble thing.
Right.
It's because he is now infected with something that it will not just kill him, but kill everybody in in that community.
Right.
for the sake of the community, he has to leave.
Yeah, I mean, I get that.
Now, granted, at the end of the film, assuming that there's some way he could be reborn into the clan,
Yeah,
he's not no longer a danger to the clan.
yeah,
But at the beginning of the film, he has to leave so that he doesn't end up becoming more of a danger to the town, because he could. I mean, the way I read this is that infection, yeah, it will kill him.
yeah,
But after he goes on a demonic killing spree, killing everybody else and infecting them.
yeah.
This is at a time period. They have no way of healing.
Oh
this
yeah, I completely
curing
agree with that.
this.
Yes.
So that's why they have to banish him. It's not that they want to. It's plainly obvious.
Oh yeah,
they
yeah.
don't
Obviously,
want
yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah.
But what else are you going to do? And to be fair, if you're going to, they're never going to find out if he lives or dies because of the time period this takes place during.
Right.
There's no way of knowing. So it's essentially he has to be dead as far as the community is concerned, because now is the time to mourn him.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with you on that. I completely agree. Completely agree.
Because there's no way he can come back. It's not like the Israelites
No.
who, when they were ceremonially unclean, had to leave the village
Right.
until they could come back. Because, I mean, even the lepers in the Israelites could not ever come back.
Right.
They stayed with the troop, but always from a distance.
Yeah, that is true.
Anyway, sorry.
No, be like you be like, you made some good points. And I thought about those. It was just the way it was phrased. The notion, it's like they were heartbroken the way they had to do it. They were.
But that's the only way their culture would allow for him to
Yeah,
be
exactly.
banished for whatever reason.
Exactly, because they say later, or like they say during that scene, is that according to our customs, that I'd be like, you are.
We cannot watch you leave.
We cannot watch you
are
leave
dead
to us. Yeah.
It's not because they want him to be dead. It's because they have to think of him that way, or otherwise they will chase after him.
Yeah, that is true.
Like his sister did.
Yeah. Very true. All right, so yeah, that's my number 2.
All right. I'm sorry I keep
No, you're good.
defending the film from your dislike.
You're good. You're good.
My third dislike for this. The true villain of this film doesn't get affected by any consequence other than he doesn't get to take the head of the spirit god back to the emperor.
Yeah.
He just goes on living his life as if nothing happened, other than he was unable to go. One assumes he may have had to report back, but it's like, well, it's not my fault that they, gave the head back, and now the forest spirit is dead, and there's nothing we can do about it. Sorry, Emperor, you're going to have to die like everybody else. But there's nothing about... Sorry, Jiro, that's the guy's name. He gets no consequence. He doesn't even get a hand slap. The worst he gets is he trips and says, fine, take the head. There's nothing I can do to stop you at this point, essentially. It's like... And his last line is, I give up, you can't win against fools. You didn't learn your lesson, you ignorant fool, you! You're the fool in this situation. You tried to kill a god for your own gain. You should have been killed. You should have been Gastoned out of this film.
Oh, God. Yeah, agreed.
While shouting, fools! We could live forever! At least the Emperor will. Especially after it's his actions that not only killed the forest god, killed most of the forest with no idea if it was ever going to come back or not, caused half of the people who were trying to escape Irontown, while the spirit god's decaying corpse was flowing through and killing everything it touched with, taking out half the people who were living in Irontown because they accidentally went the wrong way on the path.
Yeah.
It's like, this is all Jiro's fault.
Yeah.
The entire film, well, not the entire film, but the crux of this film is Jiro's fault. And he doesn't even get a slap on the wrist when everything goes down. He just happens to be away from everybody else. He gets his one that oh yeah, he's still alive. He gets his last line and then movie's over. It's like, Jiro, you need to be attacked by a wolf.
Or an ape.
Or an ape. Or a boar. Or any giant animal god who happens to still be alive that perhaps we just didn't get a chance to see and just shows up at the last minute because it was running late. Perhaps a giant sloth.
Giant sloth.
It was running late for the battle, so that's why I didn't make it there in time. Oh, look, here's the bad guy. I need a snack. Oh, was he the bad guy? I didn't realize. He's the one who killed our god? Fine. You don't have to worry about him no more.
Tastes like chicken.
Yep. That's not what happens. He goes on and lives his life as if nothing were a care in the world to him. He doesn't even get cursed.
No, he doesn't.
He gets nothing. He's a pain in the arse. I hate this guy, and he doesn't even get anything coming to him. Now, granted, assuming this is a Christian, this is actually taking place within Christianity somehow.
Yeah.
Vengeance is the Lord's. Mm-hmm. So, despite the fact this guy tried to kill... No, I'm not going to go there because that could come off as heresy.
Yeah.
Let's not go there.
Yeah.
But I am assuming, I don't know exactly how the spiritualism in Japan works, but I assume there's a hell-like place like so many other places are, and perhaps he'll face a judgment there. I hope. Also the emperor, probably, but technically the Japanese emperor is a god in their thing, so let's just move on.
Move on.
What's your third dislike?
I really don't have another dislike.
Okay.
I really don't.
Then I guess we need to go out and rate this thing.
All right.
I'm giving this film a 9.5.
All right.
I absolutely love this film. There are some little hiccups.
Right.
But none of that really detract from it, except for maybe, some of the voices not matching. But this is still one of my favorite Miyazaki films.
Yeah.
And favorite Studio Ghibli films. If not, one of my favorite animated films, period.
All right.
Maybe even one of my favorite films, period. 9.5.
All right. I will give it a 9, a solid 9. It's a wonderful film. The fact is, it's what, 2.5 hours?
2 hours, 13 minutes.
Yeah. And you don't even be like, most of the time when you like, oh, it's a 2-hour film, it feels like a 3-hour film at that point, but it doesn't feel that way. It's the story runs smooth, great characters, great atmosphere of the whole bit. It's a wonderful, great film. I really enjoyed this film tremendously. There again, little hiccups here and there. I don't think my dislikes were very well articulated. Thank you, because Drew over here blew them out of the water.
Sorry,
it's fine. That's perfectly fine.
My point was not to blow you out of the water.
No, it's perfectly fine.
My point is to how these discussions usually go, where one of us says a dislike and the other says that's not as bad a problem as you're saying it is.
Agreed.
That's all that was meant.
Yes, totally understand. That's the way this show works. So either way, yeah, this movie is a wonderful movie. It's great. It's a classic. So go watch it.
Mm-hmm. Which brings us to the end of this film. Next week, we are going to be reviewing the last film of Miyazaki month, My Neighbors, the Yamadas. And so our trivia question for the next episode, which I will post after the show, so keep an eye out for it. I think I learned my lesson from last time about trying to rush it. What media is... Let me rephrase. What is My Neighbors, the Yamadas actually based on? Namely, the type of media it's based on. What is... Okay, let me rephrase. Obviously, My Neighbors, the Yamadas is based on a manga, but what kind of manga is it based on? That's really what I'm trying to get at. What type of manga is My Neighbors, the Yamadas based on? And maybe... That's not even a good way to put it either. What is it based? What is the movie based on? I'll just say that.
Okay.
Make this simple. What is this movie based on? So join us next week for that when we review My Neighbors the Amadas, and join us then. As far as I know, that's about it for the show.
Yeah, I think so.
So in the meantime, this has been Drew,
This is Jacob.
and we will catch you in the next frame. It's not playing.
Hit it one more time.
I don't think it's playing. Nothing is playing.
That's weird.
I'm trying everything. Nothing's playing.
Is your soundboard on?
I already checked that. I should be seeing the little thing going
Yeah,
across
agreed.
the screen.
Nothing's playing.
Nothing's playing.
Weird.
Y'all aren't hearing anything out there in Listenerland, are you? Besides me and Jacob?
Hopefully you're hearing us.
Because I should be at least getting Control M right now. Should be getting a beep. Oh, Josh is saying no, so it's for some reason not playing right now. Okay. Y'all know where to find us.
Yeah, pretty much.
Catch y'all next time.
All right. Thanks, guys.